everyone, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to play No Body, No Crime off of Taylor's Evermore album on the guitar. So here's a quick overview of everything I'll be covering in this tutorial today, and with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so you're only going to need to know 7 different chord shapes to play through this entire song, and we're going to start with our E minor, which looks like this and sounds like this. By the way, if you don't know how to read these chord charts you're seeing on screen, I do cover how to do that in my free beginner series right here on YouTube, so make sure to check that out right here. The next chord shape is our C major. We also have our D major. Next is our A minor. We also have a G major. Next is our bar chord, which is B minor. And the last chord shape is our B7. And just a quick note about some of these chords. The E minor, I play with my middle and my ring finger like this, but you could also play it with your pointer and your middle finger. I would suggest this fretting position just because in this song we're usually going from our A minor to our E minor, so to me that's just kind of an easier transition to use these two fingers. And then also if bar chords are hard for you and you can't do this B minor, you could replace it with your B7 when you see it. It sounds a little bit off, but it does sound close enough that you could get away with not doing that bar chord. Or if you need help with bar chords in general, I do have a series on my Forever Faithful channel about how to play bar chords better, so I'll link that in the corner and in the description if you need it. But anyway, those are the chords you need to know to play through this song. So go ahead and pause the video and take as much time as you need to really memorize these chord shapes, as well as practice transitioning back and forth between them, because it'll make learning the rest of the song so much easier for you. And if this is a skill you're currently struggling with, transitioning back and forth between these chord shapes fast enough, I do have a Practice With Me series on my Forever Faithful channel where we build the skill up in real time together. So I'll make sure to leave that link in the description as well as in the corner here for those of you who are interested. But once you have these chords under your belt, then we can go ahead and talk about the strumming that I would suggest for this song. Alright, so as always, if you are brand new to playing guitar or you're somebody who struggles with playing guitar while singing at the same time, the first thing I would suggest doing is to bring up the song and go ahead and go through the entire thing with just a single down strum on each chord change as you sing through the song. And you want to take this time to really get used to what word or what syllable you're singing whenever those chords are changing. So here's a quick example of what that would look like. SD's a friend of mine. We meet up every Tuesday night for dinner and a glass of wine. Alright, so that's just a really quick example, but you would essentially want to do that for the entire song. Just really make sure you know where those chords are going to be changing. And this is actually something you do right now if you check out my Patreon page. I do have this entire guide available to download and print out, so I will have that linked in the description box if you're interested. But once you're used to these chord changes, then we can go ahead and talk about adding to this to make a full strumming pattern that you can play for this song. Alright guys, so for strumming for this song, as you can see, we're keeping it pretty simple. We just have down, 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 up for each chord. But I do want to kind of break down this rhythm a little bit. Normally you would count this as an 8th note rhythm, but because this song has a little bit more of a bouncy feel to it, I am going to present this to you with triplets. So basically what that means is every beat in a measure, we're going to have 4 beats in a measure. Every beat in a measure is going to be subdivided by 3 beats. A triplet, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to play a down strum on the first triplet of each beat. So we have 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a. Okay? Then on the 4th beat, you're going to also play an up strum on that last triplet. So we have 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a. Alright? Down, 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 up. It's going to be really subtle between this and an 8th note count, like a straight count. But the reason I wanted to do the triplets is because as you start to speed it up, you'll kind of hear how it has a little bit more of a bouncy feel. And this is just a really important kind of like distinction to make for songs like this. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to play this pattern through 1 time per chord throughout the entire song. So pretty simple. Let's go ahead and look at that first verse to kind of see the chord order. We're starting here on our E minor. You're going to play this pattern through 1, so we have 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a. To C, 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a. To D, 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a. To A minor. Alright, so as as I was saying, once you speed it up, you'll kind of hear how this more bouncy rhythm comes into play. So if you apply that kind of bouncier rhythm one time through per chord and string it all together, it'll sound like this. We have E minor, down, 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 C, D, E minor, down, 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 down. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a down, 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 down. All right. So if you're somebody who has more of a musical ear and you can kind of just hear the rhythm, that's totally fine. I wanted to present it on screen for those of us who are a little bit more mathematical with the way we think about music. So you can just keep that going throughout the song, okay? Now, when we're talking about applying this strumming pattern to this song, there are going to be a few things that are going to be important to kind of establish a little bit of a rhythm. The first thing is we're going to add an accent. So what an accent is it's a strum that's like a little bit extra emphasized compared to the other strums around it. And in this particular strumming pattern, I want you to accent the third down strum, okay? So I'm going to turn that green. And basically what that means is when you get to that down strum, you want to strum with just a little bit extra like emphasis on your strum. You're going to strum all the strings with a little bit more of a flick of your wrist. Whereas all of the purple arrows or regular arrows, you can kind of concentrate more on some of these just top strings, and your wrist is going to have a little bit less of a motion. All right, so on our E minor with that accent, we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, and. See how my pick is just concentrating on the top strings for the first 2 beats, and on my third beat, it's more of a wide motion. We're strumming all the strings. Okay, so that's how you can apply an accent, and you want to keep this accent going on that third beat throughout the song. So one time through this round with accents would sound like this. We have E minor, C, D, A minor. All right, so accents are one of those things that's pretty subtle, but if you can add that into your strumming rhythm, it'll really help establish a beat and make it not sound so muddy. So definitely kind of try to add that accent in throughout. And then the second thing we're going to apply is a palm mute. This is something that Taylor does so much whenever she plays live. But basically what you want to do is take your hand with your pick in it, and you're going to take the side of your palm here, this more fleshy part, and you want to kind of gently rest that on the strings of your guitar near where your bridge is. So your hand's going to be scooched pretty far back away from the sound hole here, okay? And as you kind of keep your side of your palm on the strings while you strum, it kind of dampens the sound of them. All right, but you don't want to dampen it to the point where you can't hear anything. You still want to be able to hear those accents. You still want to be able to hear the different chord changes, where all we're doing is kind of dampening the sound. So we have E minor, C, and another thing about palm muting is we're just applying the palm mute to our down strums. The up strums are still going to ring like normal. So you can hear when I'm doing that up strum in the palm mute, it's still ringing out. So we have down, down, accent, down, up. So anyways, if you can apply the accent and have the palm mute on your strumming hand, it'll really kind of give a little bit of a different sound to each different part of the song. So what I would recommend doing is palm muting the verses as well as the bridge, and then letting everything else ring out. So let's go ahead and go through an example of the verse. We're starting here in our E minor. We've got down, 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 up. Palm mute, accent, that bouncy rhythm going. All right, and this is all the verses. Estee's a friend of mine. We meet up every Tuesday night for dinner and a glass of wine. Estee's been losing sleep. Her husband's acting different and it smells like infidelity. All right, and then there's going to be parts throughout this song, as you just saw, where we're going to do just a single down strum on beat 1. I'll have all of that listed on my guide that's on my Patreon page. But anyways, that's how the verses would go. When you get to the chorus, the chord order is going to be a little bit different, but the strumming is going to be exactly the same. All we're doing now is taking the palm mute out, okay? So for the chorus, we're still having our accent. We've got E minor, down, 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 up, A minor, to C, to D. So that's how the choruses would go. And then with the bridge, we're gonna be strumming exactly how we have been, but we're gonna be holding each chord out for 2 measures, okay? So for the bridge, we've got a minor, twice, D minor, twice. Good thing my daddy made me get a boating license when I was 15. And I've cleaned enough houses to know how to cover up a scene. All right, this is the only time you'll see the bar chord, the B minor. Good thing Estee's sister's gonna swear she was with me. Good thing his mistress took out a big life insurance policy. All right, and that's that bridge there. Go back to the chorus as your outro, and that's the whole song. So this strumming pattern you can use for the entire song, and again, I would highly recommend trying to add that accent as well as that palm mute in there, just to give it a little bit more interest to the person listening. All right, guys, so again, go ahead and pause the video and take as much time as you need to really get used to this strumming rhythm. I know that the kind of triplet count can throw some people off if that's something you've never seen before, but I promise it's not that hard to internalize. Once you get that internalized, it'll be a lot easier to sing on top of it, so definitely just pause and practice as long as you need to, and then when you get back, we can put everything we've learned in this tutorial together, the chords, transitions, strumming, all of that to play through the song. Every Tuesday night for dinner and a glass of wine. Estee's been losing sleep. Her husband's acting different and it smells like infidelity. Alright guys, if you want to finish jamming out to the rest of the song with me, then go ahead and head over to my Forever Faithful channel where I have the entire song posted, so I will make sure to leave that link in the description box. And again, if you're interested in the printable guide that I have available on my Patreon page, I would definitely suggest checking that out. Along with this guide, I also have guides available for so many other Taylor Swift songs, as well as the karaoke play-along tutorials for so many of her songs from all the different eras. So if you are a Swiftie who loves to play her songs on the guitar, I would definitely recommend checking it out. But otherwise, I will leave the full play-along on screen here for you. And again, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!